Greetings, brothers and sisters. I'm Professor Spira, and I'm on my way to a protest the legislation in regards to Monsanto. And whenever I go to protest, I always bring my trombone. Music is a very important part of any movement, if it's a political movement or if it's cultural movement, whatever it is, there's always a musical component. And of course, in the plant-based arena, we really need to have more musicians and artists participating. And so I'm trying to fill that void a little bit. And the last protest I did was a couple weeks ago, and had my trombone out there, and everybody just, there was a couple drummers there. They was beating on some drums, and I was doing some little funky licks along with what the protesters were chanting. So it was real cool. But I don't really have too much to say about Monsanto. I mean, that's what'd you expect as far as the government decisions and stuff. I mean, all we can do is what we're doing. You stop buying the stuff, demand that the government label things in the way that they're supposed to label them. And like a friend of mine said yesterday, it's really just about getting some land and starting to grow your own stuff, and just get on out of. That's the only way you really know. Because even when you buy something that's got an organic sticker on it, how do you know it's organic? 'Cause I don't trust grocers like that. I don't trust Whole Foods and these folks out here. So we do the best we can. Buy whatever you can afford that's in the plant-based realm, and do what you can do. Clean it the best way you can clean it. And if you can buy stuff that's not GMO, don't buy GMO. It's just what we are dealing with in terms of a government that is a bunch of stomachs, as Brother Air would say. A government that's pure pus and mucus based. If you were to take all of the 15 pounds of uneliminated fecal matter out of every senator and congressman, how many pounds of feces would you have? That would be a great SAT question. If you take the 15 to 20 pounds of uneliminated fecal matter out of every senator and congressman, how much would it weigh? You know what I'm saying? That's what's running the show. Constipation is running the show. So every once in a while, those of us that are a little less constipated need to stand up and say, look, things need to be more rational, things need to be more comfortable, so that we can get ourselves together, since y'all don't want to. Y'all want to lavish in all kinds of insane mess. Alright, so I'm here on the way to the protest. Looks like there's a lot of people there. It was almost 1,500 people that had registered for it on Facebook. And so I'm gonna get on down here. Heard a couple drums, so I don't know. I'm just, hopefully the cats can actually play some drums, because we can do some stuff. But I don't know if you can see from here. Yeah, folks already here with their what's cool about this is, like, people that are not normally activists are coming out to this, and we got some chants going. All right, this will be good. Let's get it going.
Monsanto's got to go.
Back and let this happen. We've got to vote with our dollars, okay? We got to get out there and we got to buy as much organic as we can. We need to grow lawns. We need not to grow lawns, but to grow gardens and grow your own food. You know, don't go down. There's plenty of organizations out there to get involved with too. OPA's a great organization. I know there's a lot of them. You know, get involved, go out, visit these farms. There's just all kinds of things we can do and just educate people, let them know how important it is and not to use that crap, okay? All right, we're going to start, I think we're going to start heading back. I'm not sure, I think our plan was to just go back up to hit Ridge Street, go across the bridge, and then go down to the amphitheater, right? That sound good? Let's be heard,
Yeah.
I think you'll like it too.
Oh, that's great, man. Way back there.
Hey, one of y'all record me. I'm about to go say something.
I got you, bro.
Get it, go, keep it.
How do I zoom in?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, our politicians must be constipated.
Yeah!
I said our politicians must be constipated.
Yeah!
Because they do not have any regard for human life. They don't have any regard for our children.
Yeah!
They don't have any regard for our health. We're going to have to take our health into our own hands.
Yeah!
We have to grow our own food. Yeah! We got to make sure that they understand that constipation will no longer be tolerated.
Yeah!
Constipation will not be tolerated.
Fuck constipation!
There is nothing more important than your health. There's nothing more important than my health.
Yeah!
So together we we're going to keep this thing going. We're going to let them know that they all need to do a big enema and they need to ban GMOs.
Yeah, brother.
There you go.
I'm tired of this phlegm in my throat. It's serious. You know how
So,
What up, Columbus, Ohio? Yeah, what we gotta realize is that Monsanto has all these politicians in their pocket.
That's right.
yeah.
They own them. They have made these politicians their bitches just like they easily do all the time. We've been compiling a strong list of all these politicians who is owned by Monsanto. It's not a partisan thing. It's not a political thing on either side. They own them on both sides. Believe it or not, they own Hillary Clinton. I will be letting you know these things. We are putting this list out, and we need to occupy these politicians. Every chance we get, and tell them that they can't be owned by these corporations. That we know that they've been owned. They've owned these politicians since the Carter administration. And we're going to bug them until they give us back the freedom to eat what we want. The freedom to eat food and know what it is. Let's fight. This protest can't stop here. It's got to begin here and continue. What's ours, people? Let's do it.
Googling shit all day long.
Yeah, real interesting protest.
All right. Something else about this issue is that this GMOs are proven to cause tumors in lab rats, and they cause tumors and cancer inside of people as well. So it's not just the politicians that profit from this, it's the pharmaceutical companies too, and it's the hospitals and it's the doctors too. We trust these hospitals, we trust these doctors. We can't let them continue doing this to us.
Yeah.
Human life is so valuable. On the Republican side, a lot of people are talking about pro-life and stuff like that, or wherever you stand on that issue. This is a pro-life issue because we need to have food that sustains life and not destroys it.
Yeah.
So it's not Republican, it's not Democrat, it's a human issue. So there's only one race that matters, it's the human race, and that's the race we're running together. So let's let our voices be heard. From the city of Columbus to Washington, D.C. Until this issue is resolved and history is changed on our behalf.
Alright, so that was interesting. It was really interesting. It was a good protest. I wish I would have called one of my drummer friends. Really could have used a snare drummer or a bass drum there, but there was so many people and it was so spread out that there might, at any given time, there might have been 3 or 4 different chants going on. But overall, it was really cool. It was successful. I mean, it was cool to see people that are not normally activist folks, that are kind of, you know, middle class, mainstream type of folks, you know, was coming out like, you know, something that they could get passionate about, and it has to do with health. Now, of course, if you tune into this channel, you know that we're trying to push things even further. But hey, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Are you dressed like the Green Man on purpose?
Well, no, this is actually kind of I'm a musician, and this is one of my personas. It's called Professor Spira. Yeah. So I got the little ring. I normally have face paint on, kind of like war paint, African.
You know the myth of the Green Man, the pagan?
No, what is that?
You're in the right month. He's celebrating May Day.
Okay.
And it's like the god and the goddess unite.
Okay.
The god is the Green Man. And
Yeah.
It's like all natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more to the story.
Yeah.
You know, he's just basically,
Well, yeah, I'll look, check that. Yeah, I should know it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Are you filming?
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Oh. I would have said something more profound if I'd known that.
Oh, right, no, because I got like a little YouTube channel, and so I've kind of, and I talk about health and stuff, you know, and so this was kind of up my alley.
Mm-hmm.
And, because, yeah, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been to a rally in 15 years. But
Yeah.
I care about this. This
Yeah,
is number one priority.
definitely.
It's killing.
Definitely. Yeah, it's insane.
So what's your YouTube channel?
It's Professor Spira.
Spira?
Yeah, Spira.
S-P-I-R-A?
Uh-huh. Yeah, Professor Spira.
I look for you.
Yeah, I'm a jazz musician, and I practice something called the mucusless diet healing system.
Go on. But you point that thing towards yourself.
Okay. Yeah, right, because you'll be like, what is that? No, the mucusless diet basically is...
Dairy-free?
Right, dairy-free. It's a transitionary diet to get away from...
Sugar-free?
Well, it's not. I mean, fruit sugar is
Okay.
real
Fructose
fruit
is
based, but
okay.
it's no dead animal flesh, so meat free,
Yeah.
dairy free, and then a couple other foods that create mucus, like grains and starches, but they're not as bad, so you can kind of use those to transition. But yeah, so I've been doing it for like 10 years. I used to be 280 pounds. And,
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I suffered a lot of ailments, and I had chronic bronchitis almost every year, migraine headaches that I had since I was real little, crazy allergies that had me on medication since I was 7 years old, and within 6 months I had lost 100 pounds.
Wow.
Was able to get rid of my CPAP unit. I was 18 years old with a CPAP unit over my nose, you know, with sleep apnea.
Yeah.
So I was able to get rid of that, get off of all the pharmaceutical medications I was taking, and just totally changed my life. I mean, people that knew me didn't even recognize me because I'd lost so much weight and my physiology had changed so much.
Yeah.
And I had got into it from a drummer in Cincinnati as I was, you know, trying to become a jazz musician, and I met a drummer that had practiced it for almost like over 20 years.
Yeah.
And it was almost like this little underground movement of people that knew about it and were getting into it. So I just read the books that associated with it and started just experimenting with it to see if it was what everybody was saying it was, and it definitely worked for me.
Yeah.
And so this, yeah, so the foundation of it is really fruits and green leafy vegetables, but like I said, you can transition as long as you have to. So you know, you go through vegetarian type of phases and vegan phases, and you know, so you kind of go through different levels. But yeah, there's a lot of, I know there's a lot of raw foodists and stuff that kind of into it, vegans, and you know, these different little kind of underground movements going on. But
Eat that. GMO stuff. I downloaded a list today of all the stuff that Monsanto, all the products Monsanto's in, like, you know, Ragu and all these different brands. And,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, I don't even buy any of those, except for Quaker Oats. I had been buying Quaker Oats when I stopped doing that. But yeah, I mean, even when I eat this stuff, it makes me feel sick.
Yeah.
It's not even food.
No, it's
Nutrient free.
and that's the thing. I mean, there's so much of that going on just between Monsanto. This could just as easily be on slaughterhouses and, you know, the ill treatment of animals, and you know, I was watching a bunch of those videos the other day.
Oh yeah.
And it's like sadistic, just what they're doing in there.
Yeah.
And so.
I took a road trip 2 years ago where I was just wandering around the country for a year, and my RV, me and my dog, and I drove through Nebraska. There were these feedlots. Well, first of all, I had a friend who was staying out on a cattle ranch in Montana, and it was gorgeous country. I mean, it was like 200 square acres for these 500 head of cow to just wander around. These cows were healthy, the people were healthy, the air was clean, the ground was pure. It was heaven on earth. It was just amazing. And I left there, and I'm driving east, and I go through Nebraska, and this smell of sick animals overcame me. And I looked, and it was a feedlot, and it was like maybe 1 acre, maybe, with the same number of cows, all standing on piles of poop, and, you know, they were fattening them up with grains, and I thought, and they were just about to go to the slaughter.
Right.
It was disgusting. I mean, just the smell of it was repulsive. It was. And those poor animals. I mean, first of all, it's not good for us, but second of all,
and
we're not the only species on the planet.
Yeah, and they're not even, you know, cows aren't meant to eat corn.
No.
Cows supposed to eat grass.
And they're supposed to eat and walk. That's how they digest. They're supposed to graze.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be fed corn out of a bucket.
Yeah.
It's wrong.
Or cow blood, like they do, you know, when they had the
mad cow.
Yeah, where that was like, but that's the thing, man. For so many people, it's like that's out of sight, out of mind. Just I don't even want to know.
Wrap it in plastic and I'll buy it.
Yeah. Just don't tell me. It's half the time. I saw a documentary once. They had shown these tumors on, because these animals are so sick, and when they slaughter them, it's not like you can just cook that out of there. And there was one that had this
ammonia to it.
It had this big tumor that was like filled with pus, and they sold it like you could see the mark, like the spot where the tumor was they had traced it, and you could see.
It's disgusting.
You know, you get meat that has that little groove on it, and yeah, it's bad news.
It's repulsive. I live up in Delaware County, lots of rural people, and a lot of folks, you know, farmers that use the Monsanto seed, and I was talking to them, you know, people that are my friends. You know, you got to kick that habit.
Right.
Let me show you, and they love their Roundup, and I said, let me show you what vinegar does to a plant. And it does the exact same thing as Roundup. And you know, Roundup is like $25 a gallon. Vinegar's like $2 a gallon. And
why don't people use that? That makes sense.
So I have personally been on this crusade over the past 5 years, showing people alternatives. So up in Delaware County, I can personally claim responsibility for taking, you know, 25 consumers off the market.
Beautiful.
But I mean, their argument is, well, you can't get the same yield, you can't get the same amount of produce, and this and that. And I said, well, what good is your yield if it's laden with poison? So it's a debate. I mean, I try and keep things nice too.
Right. And I think, and stuff like this, you know, I think is a good where, as the consciousness continues to raise, and this seems to be something that really people are attracted to and passionate about. Like it struck a nerve.
Absolutely.
Where it's like, okay, wait a minute, this is getting out of hand now, where they're not gonna label it, like just at least label it if you're not gonna ban it. you know, really need to ban it.
Well, in all these countries that have banned it, I'm thinking of moving.
Right.
I could live in Sweden.
Right.
I mean, seriously, if that's the only place I can live and be healthy and good. Well, I'm glad you came out today. I enjoyed your music.
Yeah.
Added a lot to it. I don't know if you heard me.